So what's happening at the moment is, after the state of it, I moved over to kind of more adult care. So I wanted to see what it was like when people had been through that transition from being in the children's home to being in semi-independent care, then going into the adult services. So going into the adult services, again, it's kind of an eye-opener just to see how many young people in particular were homeless, or how many people ended up becoming into adult services, so like the NHS, or relying on things like Depo or Risperidone, which are mental health drugs. And I was shocked to find that 28% of prison services as well were, a lot of people come from the children's services. So it's quite a mess, really. There's not really a happy ending as such. And I think I want to discover and write about that last chapter of the care sector. What's it like for adults who've been through the system? What's the end results? What kind of support's in place for them? And there really isn't anything at all. And it's really, really sad. And a lot of the campaigning work I'm doing at the moment is about trying to look at ways to resolve that. And I think the work we did in the care review for the last 15 months, we've seen a dramatic change straight away, where people are rallying to make care experience a protected characteristic. We only had Cumberland Council yesterday pledge their alliance to the review and make it a protected characteristic. We've got Haringey Council. So hopefully that will take note, people will take note, and that will catch on everywhere all over the country. I'm working with Holly Lynch, the MP at the moment, for Halifax, and we're hoping Calderdale Council make it a protected characteristic. Yeah, it's a sad reality, because you want there to be a happy ending for these young people, and it's taken a lot of bloody hard work. Even been on that care review for 15 months with Josh McAllister and the civil servants. They've done a lot of good work, but all they've done is recite work from the past, what people have done, and just taken data and kind of try to calculate it and look at kind of a math equation to how to resolve it. And it really doesn't work like that. And some of the meetings I was in with all these academics and professionals, it was just ridiculous and embarrassing sometimes. I had to go in there and say, well, none of you have actually been on the streets and seen that in reality, so you really don't know what's going on there. It's a really sad situation. And it's sad that local authorities, they just lost control of it completely. They just don't know what's happening. And it's all to do with those at the top. It really is those at the top budgeting the books and just kind of saying, well, there's no money, so, no social workers, we can't recruit, or if we can't recruit, we've got to get, they're paying these colossal amounts of money to get temporary services in, and they're not qualified and they don't care. And that was the case in Bradford, where there was just no money at all, and all the staff were off with COVID, so they got all the agencies in. They were going out there dealing with 60, 70 clients each per person and not being able to do it, and you're going to make mistakes, aren't you? And I really want to write about what the future of care looks like. I've been consulting for 3 kind of companies, which I'm working with at the moment, one in America and California. The guy actually flew over from California to meet me, which was absolutely crazy. I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. He flew over, we went for lunch together, we had drinks, and yeah, I'm consulting for them now in California. 2 companies here, Forge Care and Fairways, which are kind of like new models of care, where they've devised these new care homes, children's homes, let's call them, just to see if that works and see if they can get some better outcomes. And it's kind of eradicating that stigma, isn't it? We want to kind of get away of that really Dickensian, archaic way of thinking and working. And I think we're gradually getting there. So I personally think there is another book. I would say that because I want to write another book. I want to write the last book. So covering everything I did in the care review, covering adult services, looking at the mental health, looking at the situation on the streets, and how, we try and prop it up with drugs, and just how many people are in jail, and what the future looks like, and if it becomes a protected characteristic, and I think if we get the go ahead for next year, let's say, more will happen within this year for sure. I'm out there campaigning like a crazy man at the moment. And I'm doing a lot of good work, and I think we owe it to the reader as well. I think we've got Damage, we've got the state of it, and I think if we can just get one last book, it's a trilogy, isn't it? And that's a bit of a collector's item as well. I think Anyhow, it's in your hands. I'm very passionate about this. Damaged is the beginning. It's like a memoir of my life, and we talk about children's homes. Then we go into the state of it, which is about semi-independent care, county lines, and how 16 to 18-year-olds are groomed into this false sense of security. And then we've got the last chapter about, what is it like when you leave the care sector? What's it like for an adult who's been through the system, and what, about people who in failed marriages and, kids leaving care who inevitably end up homeless and end up in jail or end up addicted to drugs or end up in mental health services. I think there's one last push here. Anyhow, let me know what you think.